April 1912. The grand staircase, Titanic's crown jewel, descended through 6 decks in breathtaking elegance. Crystal dome above, carved oak panels surrounding first-class passengers in luxury. Then catastrophe struck. When we reached the wreck site, the staircase had vanished completely. No trace remained. Today, we solve this 112-year mystery and explore what happened. Quick question before we go further. If you could save just one thing from Titanic before it sank, would you choose the grand staircase or use that effort to save more lives? What matters more, preserving beauty or preserving people? Comment below. If you're as captivated by these forgotten stories as I am, smash that like button and subscribe. We're about to reveal why the staircase vanished completely. Let's continue. As we descend through the shaft, evidence emerges. This wasn't simple decay. As we reach C-Deck's dining saloon, the mystery deepens. The grand staircase didn't simply decay. Entire sections collapsed through multiple decks simultaneously. We're witnessing catastrophic structural failure. The staircase was built primarily from wood, while surrounding walls were steel. When Titanic imploded during the sinking, differential pressures created forces that literally ripped the wooden staircase from its moorings, leaving only void. Now we've reached E-Deck, the waterline level where crew quarters met engineering spaces. Here's the revelation. Scotland Road corridor survived remarkably intact, while the adjacent staircase completely vanished. Why? The corridor was steel construction. The grand staircase was ornate wood. During the implosion at 12,000 feet depth, the wooden staircase couldn't withstand 6,000 pounds per square inch pressure. It shattered completely, leaving no trace. Returning upward through the void, we document what remains. Mounting brackets without wood, torn metal edges, shadows in rust showing where carved panels once attached. The evidence is conclusive. The grand staircase was Titanic's Achilles heel, built for beauty, not survival. When the ship reached crushing depth during the sinking, the wooden staircase became the path of least resistance for implosion forces to travel through 6 decks. As we ascend back toward the entrance, the scale of loss becomes clear. 6 decks of the most photographed staircase in history, completely gone, not decayed, not collapsed, violently ripped away by implosion forces exceeding 6,000 psi. The carved oak, wrought iron balustrades, crystal dome, ornate clock, all pulverized in seconds. What we're exploring isn't a staircase anymore. It's a vertical tunnel showing where beauty once existed. Emerging from the void, we survey what survived. The steel door frames, support brackets, mounting rings. Everything metal remains. Everything wooden vanished. This pattern repeats across both grand staircases, forward and aft. Titanic had two identical staircases, both suffering the same fate. The implosion was democratic in its destruction. Beauty had no defense against 6,000 pounds per square inch, crushing inward during the 2-hour, 38-minute descent. Below the staircase locations, we find the debris field, scattered brass fittings, twisted wrought iron fragments, crystal shards reflecting our lights. These are all that remains of Titanic's most iconic feature: the carved oak, ornate panels, elaborate balustrades, consumed by deep-sea bacteria over 112 years. The grand staircase didn't survive the sinking. It didn't survive the impact. It barely survived the descent. Let's continue deeper into the evidence. In the debris field, we find the evidence. Brass fittings still golden, crystal fragments still clear, wrought iron twisted by unimaginable forces, carved oak consumed to shadows. Each artifact tells the implosion story. When Titanic reached 12,000 feet, the pressure differential between sealed air pockets inside and crushing ocean outside created forces equivalent to multiple tons of TNT. The grand staircase was ground zero for this catastrophic implosion. These fragments represent over 100,000 pounds in 1912 construction costs, equivalent to $15 million today. Master craftsmen spent months carving oak panels, forging wrought iron, installing crystal. The grand staircase was Titanic's signature feature, photographed endlessly before sailing. Now we document what remains: mounting brackets without beauty, bases without posts, frames without glass. The most iconic staircase in history reduced to scattered evidence on the ocean floor. The debris field reveals the implosion's violence. Objects from the grand staircase mixed randomly with mechanical components, personal luggage, and ship's equipment. There's no organization, just chaos. When the pressure hull failed, everything inside moved at once. First-class china mixed with engineering components. Passenger luggage scattered among steam pipes. The debris tells us the implosion happened suddenly, catastrophically, with explosive force traveling through the ship's interior spaces. Beyond the grand staircase, we explore connected first-class amenities. Gymnasium, Turkish baths, swimming pool, squash court. These facilities were revolutionary for 1912, accessible via the grand staircase connections. The passengers who used these spaces entered through the staircase, descending past carved oak and crystal to reach modern luxury. Every facility shows the same pattern. Metal frameworks survive while beauty vanishes. Function persists while elegance dissolves into ocean. Beyond the grand staircase, first-class passengers accessed exclusive dining, a la carte restaurant, café parisien, veranda café. These premium spaces required reservations and additional payment beyond first-class ticket costs. The smoking room represented gentleman's sanctuary, preserved surprisingly intact. Each space shows the same story. Architectural frameworks survive, while decorative elements vanish. Metal persists, wood dissolves. Luxury becomes memory. The grand staircase connected all these spaces into cohesive luxury experience. The wireless room, where Phillips and Bride sent distress signals, reminds us this was working ship, not just floating hotel. Comparing the grand staircase to second and third class areas reveals crucial differences. Simpler construction survived better. The second class staircase shows partial preservation. Plain oak lasted where ornate carving didn't. Third class spaces remain largely intact. Elaborate beauty proved vulnerable. Simple function endured. The grand staircase's grandeur ensured its complete destruction. The stern section reveals the grand staircase's twin suffering identical destruction. When Titanic broke apart on the surface, the stern flooded rapidly, creating massive air pockets. As it descended, these air pockets compressed catastrophically, causing implosion forces far exceeding the bow. The aft grand staircase, equally ornate, vanished even more completely. The stern section barely remains recognizable. Complete structural collapse proves implosion theory definitively. In the engineering spaces, we find the irony. Functional machinery survives remarkably intact, while decorative beauty vanished completely. Massive engines, boilers, turbines remain recognizable. Simple crew passages survive. Coal still sits in bunkers. Working class areas endure. The engineering that powered the grand staircase's luxury outlasted the luxury itself. Function proved more durable than beauty. Simplicity more resilient than elegance. The lesson is clear. Ornate construction doomed the grand staircase. The debris field contains the human story. Shoes paired as their owners wore them, children's toys scattered from family cabins, stewards' buttons showing where crew served until the end. These artifacts connect us to individual lives. The grand staircase was an architectural marvel, but these personal items remind us of 1,517 people who died. Beauty vanished, lives ended, but memory survives in scattered artifacts on the ocean floor. As we ascend from 12,000 feet, perspective shifts dramatically. The wreck shrinks below, bow and stern becoming tiny shapes on the vast seafloor. The grand staircase's destruction seems insignificant against the ocean's immensity. Rising through absolute darkness, passing deep-sea creatures, crossing temperature boundaries, we transition between worlds. The wreck exists in eternal night, while we return to light. Two separate realities, surface and depth, connected only by memory and technology.